Now's the part in actually connecting the IKs to the joints. So I have my joint chain in here, and I have my IK system. Now I named these very specifically so they match up. Do you see how the IK ankle, it stops right there, and the RFL system is right there as well. These two need to be connected. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take the IK ankle, and I'm just going to middle mouse drag it and parent it directly underneath the ankle RFL. Then we have our ball, which is the next one. We have our ball IK, so I take the ball IK and put it into the ball RFL. Then I take the toe and put it underneath the toe. There we go. Now our system is working. So if I rotate up, you can see how the whole foot moves. Let's actually bring back our geometry so I can see it move. See? And if I just down click, we should go into our inner bank. There we go. Down click again, just moved down arrow. I got our inner bank. And you notice that if I move one of these and then I come back and I move the other one, it doesn't really work very well. You're not supposed to animate them together, one or the other. So I can move my toe around and so forth, and then my ball like that. So they're all working. So that's that system. Now, a couple things I want to point out for troubleshooting this. You notice how my heel is still pointing right down towards my toe. And this is because I didn't draw my joint from my heel all the way to my inner bank. I actually had originally drawn from my heel and then went to my toe, and then I added in my inner and outer bank later. I did not reorient them. I didn't do anything fancy like that, because when I rotate this, I want it to actually go right up on that axis like this. Just like when I drew out the single joints here, I wanted them just to move up on this axis that's split across like that. Like this. Like that. I wanted to keep that orientation. I could have drawn it out, and then I would have actually had my joints placed in the wrong direction. Okay, so those are good. You also notice that we actually, if we want to duplicate this and move it over to do our other system, that don't even work out. First of all, it has some residue IKs on here. These are not functioning and need to be deleted. I'd also have to rename all these to be right. So be right, heel, and stuff like that. And if you notice on this character, when I move things over, the joints don't line up perfectly in this case. So we can try mirroring it, but we'll see weird thing happens when we do this. So let's say I mirror this over. Okay, a mirror. Okay, it's still probably going to bring back those IKs, which are garbage. Okay. And that seems to work. Now, see, it's still not perfect. When it came over, our banks are better, but our axis is facing the opposite direction, which isn't awful, because our rotation's still going to work the same way on this. But we do need to move this down. Now, the orientation on these is not, like if I decided to just hold down D and V and just literally snap my joint down like this, that would work. Even though my orientation is getting blown away to my next joint on here, I'm not really worried. This is not a binding joint. These are a bunch of control systems. So that would work. So if I literally duplicated and moved them over and scaled it, those would have worked as well. So the main thing is that the positions have to be right on the joint. There can't be any deviation, or the way the system will kind of float around it. So what I did there is completely valid. I would create new IKs for the side. You can't duplicate that over. And then I would connect them up. I'd make sure that, actually it did rename them, so that was good. So this works. And then we could actually make our IKs for our other system as well.